Bro, this drama is just not stopping. So, Wuthering Waves has come out, and it came out 3 days ago, something like this. I was follow-botted today on stream. Just over 100 accounts. The bots would say something positive about Genshin Impact and something negative about Wuthering Waves. There are really funny messages, especially the boss one. So here's the messages. Genshin Impact's attention to detail is impeccable. Wuthering Waves is riddled with sloppy mistakes. Did you know Genshin Impact's puzzles are clever? Wuthering Waves puzzles are childish. Genshin Impact's boss fights are thrilling. Wuthering Waves bosses are pushovers. Hey, did you notice how seamless Genshin Impact's cooperative play is? Wuthering Waves multiplayer is a disaster. Well, I'm sure these are messages all by real people, huh? And do you want to know what else I think? This sounds like it was translated from another language. I wonder why. It's too proper? It is very proper. It's very scripted. Give me a second. Hello? He says I should say something good about it, so then they bought me instead. Yeah, good idea. Tecton made a video about it. I'll watch it.
So a couple of days ago, people were wondering why I wasn't taking criticism from Genshin Impact players or Wuthering Waves players very seriously.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is, in case you guys don't know, is that there's been many content creators who have been voicing a very big issue that I have warned you guys about 3 years ago in Genshin Impact. Full disclosure,
Jesus.
When I used to play Genshin Impact, I was convinced that I was being botted by followers and viewers. And once I got blacklisted from Genshin Impact, because in case you don't know, I used to be a part of the Preferred Creator Program. And when I wasn't
that must have been a long time ago. That must have been back whenever he had hair.
That program, my
It's a
viewership
really
was
long
up
time
by
ago.
about 2K to the day after I got blacklisted. And suddenly my chat felt a lot more cohesive and a lot more normal. Now, the problem is that before that, I really couldn't tell what was going on because very glaring issues no one would point out. And if I ever spoke critically of the game, my chat would get incredibly hostile. Now, whether that be a very toxic positive community, which we have seen that it is, or whether that be some artificial third-party means, I wasn't entirely sure, and I can never really prove it because no one would really ever speak up on the issue. But I believe over my 4 to 5 years,
nobody wanted to anger the bots.
YouTube, I'm very transparent with the things that I say to my community, and I'm very transparent to my audience because that's very important, as well to other creators, regardless of whether you like me or whether you hate me. I think there's one thing that you can admit, and that is I attempt to deliver the truth to my audience.
He has the dent. I can tell he has the dent. If you look right here, you can see that he does. I didn't notice this.
Even at a detriment to my own self. And I think that's where a lot of my worth comes as a content creator, where I don't bullshit my audience ever. And if I do have a bad stance, I can at least defend it and let you see the logic on how I got to that, whether you agree or disagree. This happened a lot for the beginning of Genshin Impact. And honestly, it happened a little bit throughout the history of Genshin Impact for the longevity of the game, for people who weren't blacklisted. Now, there were some people who were preferred creators that it didn't seem to happen to, and there were creators where it did seem to happen to, and it was very hard to kind of understand why this was happening or who was doing this, whether it was themselves, whether it was a company, who's to know. I really can't speak on why it was happening, but there is something that I can confirm, and that is that Braxophone put out a tweet yesterday, and the tweet reads, I was follow-botted on stream today, just over 100 accounts. The bots would say something positive about Genshin Impact and something negative about Wuthering Waves. Insanity. Now, these are all first-time chatters. And the messages go from, a scope tilas josoteris, Genshin Impact's attention to detail is impeccable. Wuthering Wave is riddled with sloppy mistakes. Did you know Genshin Impact's puzzles are clever? Wuthering Waves puzzles are childish. Genshin Impact's boss fights are thrilling. Wuthering Waves bosses are pushovers. Hey, did you notice how seamless Genshin Impact's cooperative play is? Wuthering Waves multiplayer is a disaster. To be fair, they're very funny, especially the ones Pyro Red is fun is real thrilling, bro. Now, the reason why it's very difficult right now to take the community's concerns on what is good and what is bad is a phrase called astroturfing. And I'm going to pull this up because I've been saying it quite a bit because that is currently what's happening. So, astroturfing is the deceptive practice of presenting orchestrated marketing or public relations campaign in the guise of unsolicited comments of members of the public. This is exactly what I think it is. People are having ulterior motives to say that Genshin Impact is...
I don't even think that this is Hoyoverse. I think this is down bad weebs that are $10,000 invested into the game that are doing it in order to make sure that their game doesn't die. I think that's what's really happening. No way this is Hoyoverse? I don't know. So there's like a couple of checks that I would want to see. I would want to see, number one, are these bots making comments about anything else, right? Because there's a lot of bots that are made that are just supposed to repeat phrases that were used that were popular, and then the bot is supposed to basically look like it's a real person. If you look on like my YouTube comment section or like any popular YouTube comment section, it's going to be there, right? You're going to see like a really well thought out comment from like this girl who says, you know, it's like click my bio for more, and it's a link to some fucking Russian, you know, like Bitcoin miner that you download. And so the truth is, like, it's extremely common that happens. So I would not immediately assume that it was done by Hoyoverse. I would kind of assume that it actually kind of wasn't. But there are so many down bad Genshin players and down bad Gacha Andys that are like afraid of another, because like you think about it, right? If somebody has a Constellation 6, what's a character in Genshin that's really good? Hu Tao, right? Like, or people really like a lot. Well, what's going to happen to that character whenever that game isn't the most popular game anymore? Well, the value of that character is going to go down. Now you're a fucking loser. Now you spent money on a dead game. Now you're a moron. Now you've spent $10,000 and your money was in fact wasted. Who cares? They do, because it's their money. That's the reason why. Yeah, that's why Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's why WoW players got really mad about Final Fantasy 14 blowing up. You're exactly right, because people don't want to have all, like, for example, if you're a WoW player, like being a gladiator in WoW used to mean something. Now it probably means that you like, is something wrong with you. It means like there's like not even that maybe nobody gives a shit. Basically, I wouldn't even say I'm not even going to turn into something bad. Just nobody cares anymore. And so, yes. And so, like, all of those accomplishments that people had are just meaningless now. Who cares? Agree, but it's normal for Chinese companies to do this, so I'd actually say it's more likely Hoyoverse. Ooh. You think so? Maybe.
Bad, or Genshin Impact is good and Wuthering Waves is bad, as a way to further their narrative of don't quit the game that we've sunk a lot of time into.
Right.
Continue playing Genshin Impact, fuck Wuthering Waves. Now, this is a very real thing that a lot of companies do. Now, this would be an issue if it was. This wouldn't really be an issue if it was just Braxophone.
Wait, is it more people?
However, during my 36-hour live stream, I received a lot of followers. And as you can tell, these spike in followers are pretty normal. Every big spike here was for a giveaway. Okay? Pretty normal follower growth. The more I stream, the more followers I get.
Sure.
However, I went live yesterday for 4 hours. And in 4 hours, I gained 1.4 thousand followers. Now, that's pretty good. You would assume live for 4 hours. Okay. So maybe 350 followers over the course of 4 hours. However, I did no giveaways yesterday. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you.
Is it going to be one massive peak? Yeah.
20 followers every 10 minutes throughout the stream.
Here it comes.
And at the very end.
Ooh. 1,000 followers. Isn't that a coincidence with streamer agreement? Things happen the same time? Yeah, it's just a big coincidence, guys.
I gained 1,060 followers in the span of 1 minute. There was no giveaway at this time. And
he 100% got botted. 100%.
This is what I consider to be very clear follow botting. And very clear and in
pull it up myself. Okay. Is this one? And let's look at this one. Wuthering Waves. Look at the last three. Seems normal. Seems normal. Seems relatively normal. None of these seem to be problematic. These are the last ones here. 61 followers. That was like right whenever I started the game, so I could see that happening. Yeah, this doesn't really seem too crazy to me. But I also have like a thing where you have to register a phone number in order to talk in my chat. You have to have an account with a registered phone number in order to talk in my chat. And because of that, they actually might not follow bot my channel for that reason. You don't have it at the moment? Oh, I might have turned it off for a little bit. I think it's only Asmongold. Well, either way.
To further
it seems like it's not happening to me.
Is a bad game, and Genshin Impact is a good game. Now, Braxophone has no reason to lie. I have no reason to lie. But this is the reason why it's been a very difficult time to understand what's real and what's fake in Wuthering Waves. I recommend anybody that has only heard hearsay from content creators or other members of the community on what's real and what's not to go ahead and disregard pretty much anything you read and get this. Form your own opinion, your fucking self.
Imagine that.
Try Wuthering Waves for yourself, because here's the big issue, because this was me yesterday. Kuro Games, we're terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Take this free stuff as an apology. Me, who's been having fun. I've had no issues in Wuthering Waves so far.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yet I became aware that there were people who were having PC issues en masse. Now, the way that people want you to believe that is that the majority of players were getting PC issues.
Yeah.
Now, I'm currently live on twitch.tv/TechTone, as I normally am, to 10,700 people. I'm going to run a poll. Have you experienced game-breaking bugs? Better yet, are you able to play the game? Because people are presenting this as the game is in such a bad state that they're not even able to play it. So
there's a degree of selection bias with this poll, because TechTone is primarily going to be polling people that are using PC because they're interacting with a poll, and also they're watching a stream that usually people watch on PC, whereas Wuthering Waves, a lot of the problems with it was also on mobile. So there's a degree of selection bias with this, so I would say like probably 10 or 20%, you know, like confidence that like you could have a bit of a fuck up there. But, you know, sure.
Run a poll.
I was on mobile, yeah.
10,000 people in my chat. And we're going to see how they vote. And I'll give it about 30 seconds before I check in.
I had no problems.
Okay? Because the problem is that when you take these people's opinions and you take them at face value and you don't question them, you're never really going to get to the understanding of what is actually going on. With 93% of players...
People don't want to understand what's going on. They want to have the thing that's going on be what they think. So they just look for the information that agrees with them, and that's it. It's pretty simple.
They are perfectly able to finally play the fucking game. But the problem is that right now, nefarious means or not, there is follow botting in the game.
Yeah.
There are people attempting to push a narrative that Wuthering Waves is unplayable. Yeah. This is just a undeniable fact. Okay? And there are people saying, acting as the minority, portraying themselves as the majority, that Wuthering Waves can't be played, and that's just simply not true. It really depends on your computer, your device, and also, we have now had 7 optimizations going out in the 4 days. This company is trying very hard, and they're being very transparent with everything they're trying to do.
I think it's really fucking funny that, because I'm hoping that, and this is kind of like, this is really fucked up for me to say this, but I hope that everybody talking about this and getting mad about this, about like Genshin like being worse, I think that it would be really fucking funny if it worked. Because if Wuthering Waves actually got more popular than Genshin, I really want to see the cope from that. I do. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
I really recommend that
just
you
purely
don't take
for
anybody
a bad
else's
reason.
Word for it, but your own. You can even disregard mine. Go boot up Wuthering Waves. See if it works for yourself. Fuck what I say. But if you're going to deny that there are not people in bad faith attempting to push a negative agenda,
they are.
Well, you are simply just wrong. And I hope that makes you understand this. Now, why is this happening?
Sure.
With all of the contracts that were leaked, with all of the agendas that have been going on, it's not just the company that's afraid of Wuthering Waves. It's the community that's afraid of Wuthering Waves as well.
I think it's primarily the community. Because I think Hoyoverse probably isn't that threatened by Wuthering Waves. Like no meme. I think that they know that they have like a big audience of people and they're going to keep playing the game. Like, obviously, like, a competition might take away a little bit of their market share, but I think that's something that, like, any company has to expect is going to happen. Like, it's not like, you know, Wuthering Waves is going to come out and everybody's going to quit Genshin.
to nitpick every single negative that this game has in order to put their game on a pedestal.
Right, exactly.
You can do whatever it is that you want to
like
do.
Like MMO players do the exact same thing, because instead of having 1,000 hours invested into the game, gacha players have $1,000. And both of them are trying to protect their investment.
But rather than try to obliterate Wuthering Waves and act like it's not successful, why don't we just look at the facts? I'm going to show you 2 graphs. The bottom one is Wuthering Waves category, and the top one is Genshin Impact's relevancy. Obviously, Genshin Impact right now is much higher. And this is the part where you got excited that Genshin Impact was doing better. However, that's not the case, because I misspelled Wuthering Waves intentionally in order to prove a point that your bias excites you for Genshin Impact wanting to do good.
That's a good one. That's a fucking good one. I'm gonna be honest. That was fucking good. Oh man, that was sneaky. It was, dude. That was some real rat shit, and it was amazing.
I'm now going to type it correctly, and as you can see, the state that Wuthering Waves is in right now.
Oh my god. Holy shit. That is nuts. It's insane. What the fuck? Love your raid, Costa. Thanks for the raid, man.
Is far surpassing how Genshin Impact is doing.
Oh my
and that's very important to note, because the game is doing very well. Now, you could also argue it's due to the search term. I'm going to pull up video game. And now the difference is much closer.
Jesus. No, my Hu Tao? Who? Who's that? Who's that? Yeah, what?
But as you can tell, the game is doing very good. The game is killing it right now. And you can sit there and you can be angry. And sure, this graph may drop off, but the rate that Wuthering Waves is dropping off is much slower than the rate that Genshin Impact dropped off post-launch. It's actually doing a very good job of maintaining and sustaining their hype, as well as their Twitch viewership. 4 days after launch, in category-wide 54.6 thousand viewers.
Wow.
Compared to Genshin Impact.
3K viewers.
3.5 thousand
There
viewers.
it is.
Now, once again, this is to be expected. You don't really have to be that excited about it, but let's just root our arguments and concerns in reality. Wuthering Waves will most likely become
That's right. Whole proof that people like games that have guys in them. That's true. Yeah, a sustained launch of a few days. Yeah. I mean, isn't this expected though from a $30 million pre-registration game? Well, like, what were Genshin players saying? A lot of Genshin Andes were like, no, not 30 million. They was botting the amount of people that was pre-registered. So it won't really be like nobody actually going to play that game. You're not going to play. I'm not going to play it. Who going to play? I know it's going to nobody play that game. Nope. My Hu Tao is safe.
It's relevant in Genshin Impact in the future. We'll see how it goes. But you can't deny that the game is doing absolutely fantastic, because here's the other thing. The moment that the Wuthering Waves category gets drops, it's going to blow up even more, because we have yet to see category-wide drops so far. We've only seen
actually, you know what? I should probably message somebody that works there about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll try. I'll try to get them to do drops. Do it, yeah. Message, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Maybe get another. I'll be like, hey, I thought of a really great idea. Let's have a drop. If you watch a stream for 40 hours, 40 hours, you get another free 5-star selector. I think that seems like a good idea, right? Yeah, for sure.
Of that viewers
You
aren't
have
going
to
to want
watch
to pay
for 40
$10
hours.
Let's just stop with the fake bullshit, and let's stop making it so difficult to find relevant people's opinions on how the game state actually is. It's confusing, it's disingenuous, and if we were all just transparent and honest with our audience and with our other community members, we'll be able to get to the bottom of things, because whether you want to admit it or not, Genshin Impact is good for Wuthering Waves, and Wuthering Waves is good for Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I said the same thing about PoE and Diablo 4.
We should be fighting, but we should be fighting with truth and logic rather than feelings and opinions. Because the better Genshin Impact becomes, the better Wuthering Waves is going to have to become. The better Wuthering Waves becomes, the more Genshin Impact should...
Let me translate this to ARPG terms. The more innovative systems Last Epoch adds into the game, the more innovative systems Diablo 4 can steal from Last Epoch and put in Diablo 4.
Become ensued, you'd hope. So let's just argue with logic and facts rather than opinions and feelings, and we'll really get to a better place for both games. And I'll be real, I don't care what Genshin Impact becomes. I have Wuthering Waves now. I'm okay. I'm happy with this game. I am excited for Natlan. Pokemon system will be cool. But in my head, the only thing that I'm thinking is, man, I hope Wuthering Waves gets that instead. Oh, wait, we already do with Echoes. It is what it is. Let's just take the feelings out of the equation. Let's just keep it a buck. And hopefully that helps. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
New efforts announced.
Man.
So, a couple...
These fucking accounts are really sus. They are. Such a dishonest opinion. Wait a minute. Sounds reasonable. Let me see. Is there somebody who's complaining about this? Oh, here we go. Here we have, maybe, is this a Genshin defender? I mean, compared to Genshin's launch, Wuthering Waves isn't doing anything special here. It's way too early to say how Wuthering Waves will do. We'll see in a few months if it's a bigger success than Genshin. Yeah, that's true. I feel like everything he said is true. Like, yeah, true. Yeah, this is fine. This is fair. It's fine. I mean, here's the thing. And you're not a bot, right? Like, actually, I know this person isn't a bot. I pulled you up on my stream about 10 months ago. Is that correct? I remember your name. A big Spurgeezy. Yep. No, you'll survive again. I'll be very curious to see, like, next week and the week after that, how things evolve from there. There's the video right there. Make sure to give it a like. Tectone, I think, is completely right about this. People are living in a fantasy land. Obviously, there are bots that are promoting Genshin. I'm sure there might even be bots promoting Wuthering Waves, but it seems like there's not as many of them. So, yeah, I think this is going to come and become more and more common.